So this video is going to help you understand how to use Photopea, so that way you could look at some of the proportions that you have on your still life based off of the feedback that we got from our sketches last week and today. So here's the deal. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open from computer, and that's going to take me to my Google Drive. Right now, here's the thing. I'm going to go click on recent because it's a lot easier for me to find my pictures here than it is going through everything else. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to look for one of the pictures that I edited. Okay. So from here, I'm going to look at 5-star number 1. I'm going to open that up. Okay. I don't know why it does this. If you get into this mode, just for whatever reason, just unclick it. All right. So now what I'm going to be doing is over here on my toolbar, I'm going to be looking for my brush. Okay. So I'm going to select my brush tool. Okay. Now, with my brush tool, what I'm going to be able to do is I'm actually going to be able to draw. Watch, see, I could actually draw right onto my picture. So now I'm not going to be drawing, and tracing objects. Really what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be paying attention to angles. I'm going to be paying attention to placement. I'm going to be paying attention to height and proportion. Okay, so watch. First thing I'm going to do is I look and see that my focal point is this black object right here. This one, I'll put a little X on him so you could see that's my focal point, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start paying attention to the different proportions around this person, okay? Where they lie. So to do that, I come over here to where the ruler. I'm going to pull over a line, so that way I could create my rule of thirds, okay? My hashtag. There we go. Okay. All right, and you could see that I'm okay there. All right, not a problem. There's my rule of thirds. Now, what this is doing is this is going to help me because this is the edge of my drawing, and notice the spacing between that and my edge, right? There is a space right there. So the head starts about halfway from the edge here to over here. Okay. All right. And you'll notice that there's nothing in the middle there, in that middle square. Now, the top of the head, you'll notice, is just above the that third, right? And if you'll notice, the head is about the middle of the sphere. You'll also notice that the sphere and the head does not go into the middle of the sphere. Okay. Also, look at the bottle here. This bottle is lower than the head. And then the top of this bottle almost lines up with the top of the sphere. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm paying attention to where things overlap and where they come out of. Okay, so when I'm looking at, for example, at this bottle here, notice how it comes out of the shoulder at an angle. All right, this is straight up and down. Cool, but that bottle is behind the figure. Okay, I'm going to draw a line that tells me the angle of the arm coming in here, and it comes down. All right, I notice that this is at an angle. This is kind of curved, but look at this. This is at an angle here. So what I'm doing is I'm creating some lines that tell me where things go and the angle that they're at. Because one of the mistakes is typically people will draw the bottom of this figure very straight, but if you notice, it's not. Notice the legs. See how the legs are at an angle, or the arms are at an angle? Notice how these are at different heights. Notice that this comes up in here. So these are things that I look at when I'm looking at the image or the still life. I pay attention, like, look, see, there's a slight overlap between one of the ball sides and the other. Okay, that makes sense. Pay attention to how much space is in between the cap and the top of the art and the top of the image. Okay, this handle is not straight up and down. It's at an angle. Holy cow. I didn't pay attention to that earlier. Notice how this here is actually smaller than this. All right, they're not the same size because of the angle I'm at. See that? Notice the bottom of the container is actually higher than the bottom of the sphere. It's actually higher than the bottom of the figure. So all these lines, what they're doing is they're telling me where things go in relationship to each other. And that's what I want you to do, is do this, okay, with each of your images. So then that way you get some ideas as to where things go. So then once I've got those in there, I'm going to go ahead and export them as a JPEG or PNG. Okay, I'm going to use my PNG. All right, click save. All right, 5-star 1. Okay, so it has the same name, but I'm going to add in markup. So that way I know that this is the one that I marked up. Then click save. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so that way I know how proportions work. And that's what you're going to be doing.